they used was brought from the northern part of the city, 70 kilometers away from the mount called Pedelis. A first cut for the marble was given there. Then with carts and oxen was brought down to the city over this side, and they had ramps. There weren't steps at that point to bring it over the hill and carve the very fine details on spot.
In his victory in Greek, and she was a girl who was always depicted with her wings open.
So the original entrance, it was having 5 different ways. The central part where the wooden steps are now was a ramp. Is a complex that combines Doric columns and Ionian ones. Can you tell the difference of the two styles?
No? Yes. Can you?
So that is a Doric column with a capital that looks really smooth.
Okay. Okay.
The Ionian capital is like those two ones that they were recently restored.
I see.
With those two curves.
Okay.
Every year, the Athenians had a festival for the goddess Athena, and every 4 years was the big festival, the big event. A Pan-Hellenic festival with many foreigners also coming to participate. So through this complex and through these gates, there were for 4 days around 50,000-60,000 people coming through, in and out.
Wow.
It looks a little bit like today when we have many cruise ships down the Piraeus and there are several groups coming same time for the same tour, and it's all blocked.
Wow. Goodness. Wow. That is amazing.
I have this book with me. It's for children, but I like it because it's having very nice drawings representing how the monument, like the propylaea, the gate, looks like. This would be the complex in full. So we came through this central part, and you saw that it was like having two sides, like two side rooms in those days. The one that it was across that corner, it was called Pinakosiki. It was like an art gallery, paintings representing different myths by a painter of those days. A room that in the future, when Greece and Athens came to the hands of, let's say, in Byzantine time, when Christianity took over the new religion, and then when we had the Franks after the Crusades, the Franks have a period that they're ruling, and then the Turks, it was to face some changes. It became a church, it became a palace, like a residence for the Franks. And the worst was that during the Turkish rule, except of being the residence on that side, they had like a tower built that became a gunpowder magazine. That it was pretty risky, and we will see what happened later on in time by having gunpowder up here. To walk through the propylaea, maybe this drawing can help you a little bit, to see this last line of columns as people were coming out. And there is here something like a statue in the corner hidden. It looks like very small, so it was somewhere across there. It was a bronze statue of Athena, 8 meters high, holding her spear with her helmet, an artifact of Phidias that was made with the booty that the Athenians took from the Battle of Marathon, like winners, to commemorate that important moment in their history. So it was, except the Parthenon, one of the first things that people saw when they were entering. Among other statues that they were raised to the left, to the right, so those statues in the museum with the girls that you will see their clothes painted, very rich. They actually represent how everything looked like. They're colorful. Was around here originally. It was like entering a museum today for people then. But don't forget that we talk about a religious festival, a religious place. People that they're not just tourists or visitors, are pilgrims. Actually, that was the main purpose of them coming here. And when a city or a sanctuary like in Delphi they celebrate, it's not just the religious part, there is also the evening where people are supposed to eat and drink and dance, because after all it's a celebration to take for everyone. It was like a Christmas, Easter, Hanukkah, I don't know, the main festival of all the religions that we have nowadays. Let's walk further on. I'm very slow for you to enjoy. Yeah. And secondly, after 2 years being stuck at home, I think I've lost all my energy. And I'm like about to start crawling up to the Acropolis. I'm trying to look, you know, very strong and decided, but I'm dying inside.
Yeah, clap for her. Bless her heart. Being stuck at home for 2.5 years, yeah, I guess she probably was zipping up all this. Yes. These rocks are just smooth here. Oh Lord, the smooth rocks. Yes.
That is actually a monument in Hellenistic time made. Hellenistic time is called the period after Alexander the Great died and his empire was given to his generals to rule. So different rulers came to the cities around the mainland, on the islands, in Asia Minor, over Egypt. In those days in Egypt we have, you know her, Cleopatra. She's part of let's say a Greek tribe. She's not Egyptian in origin. So Philopappos is one of the benefactors also, and in memory, the Athenians, over his tomb, they made that monument that represents him and members of his family. So it's like a funeral monument.
Okay, okay.
It's always impressive because it's just across there, and it's to take everyone's attention.
Yes. Nay.
Now, for Parthenon, we have this rule. Temples are always facing east in those days. So here is like we stand in the back. It's like standing behind the temple. We have that main path where the other group stands, and across there you see that other monument called Erechtheion. That is actually the very last monument built over the Acropolis, and then it was already started the war of Peloponnese, a civil war in between Athens and Sparta, so it was after 431 BC built. Parthenon was not the only temple for Athena, or the first temple of Athena built. The very first temple of Athena during the 6th, 7th century BC was somewhere across there. You cannot see it. There are few rocks of, let's say, the foundations today. The second and the third temple, older temples, were under here. So it's like building in the 5th century BC. The last one over the foundations of the older buildings at the same exact spot. The thing that they had to do, it was to elevate, lift up a little bit the pedestal, the base, of the platform on which the temple, to make it more impressive and look bigger. The actual height is around, let's say, 15 meters altogether. The columns were 10 meters and a half tall. And the purpose to build this temple, it was to house inside a statue of the goddess Victory in gold, of the goddess Athena, holding a victory in her hand. A statue that it was tall 12 meters, so that is 36 feet. So more or less you need to imagine the height given by a building of 4 stories, more or less, just to have a comparison in your mind. More or less how tall is from the bottom to the top today. Now, it's easy to find out yourself how many columns are around. The thing that you need to do is to count these 8. We have 8. Multiply per 2 and add 1. So we have 8 per 17. Doric columns. You can see how Doric is. The 3 different orders that they have in ancient time, and it's more helpful if we see this drawing that I'm about to find here, in order to have, let's say, everything organized for war. And part of those bounds is what they use to have all these constructed. So even the gold that it was used for the statue of the goddess inside, it's something that in case of emergency can be melted down to exchange it in the money, in what they need to construct new boats and finance the military.
Okay.
And that's why all these constructions were also a great thing to discuss, let's say, in the politics. Because we have different parties and there are accusations, so this game is already on since the early days of the birth of democracy. And even Phidias was accused because he's a friend of Pericles. So the opponents said that he was chosen because he was their friend and he was in his favor, and that's why he was accused to have stolen a part of the gold of the statue. And Phidias had to leave Athens for a period of time. In those days, he went to Olympia. Olympia is on Peloponnese, is, let's say, the top most important sanctuary of Zeus. And he had also another golden ivory statue built there for the father of the gods this time. And that statue of his is considered one of the 7 wonders. And the reason to make it, it was also to represent that people could trust him, and other people, trusted him to deal with gold once more. And all the accusations weren't real in this case in Athens. If we could see the statue of gold and ivory that he made, unfortunately this statue doesn't exist today. When the Roman Empire was divided in two parts. For the eastern part, except Rome, there was another new capital, Constantinople, built. 330 AD is considered, let's say, the beginning of what we call in the Greek history Byzantine time. It's having more Greek characteristics, and let's say the religion also changed because all these places were abandoned and closed. It was forbidden for people to worship the old divinities. So at that time, the statue of Athena was taken to Constantinople. When we say Constantinople now, we mean Istanbul, in Turkey.
Oh, okay.
We are lucky to have a book of a traveler writer. His name is Pausanias. He's describing Delphi that you went through. He had a long trip around Greece given. In Roman time there were some copies of these statues or representations on coins made in the area. So the goddess Athena would look like this. Standing tall, 12 meters, holding that victory in her hand, her spear and shield, sorry, and her shield by her side, reposing. Now, the technique is to make a wooden piece and have it dressed with gold and ivory. So all the construction looks like a Lego. If I'm allowed to describe it like this, to make it easy to understand. Imagine that they carve wood, and when we say Phidias made it, or Phidias was making the decorations, or Callicrates and Dictynus being the architects, we don't mean that they work these three men on their own up here. We talk about the ones leading, having a crew and a team of other 50, as it is described, always in the books, of artists, of 500, 600 craftsmen, builders, construction experts to be involved. So we don't talk about slaves. Everyone working here was getting paid. The expense of having all this built is described today like the expense of having more or less a skyscraper constructed. We cannot easily, let's say, translate the cost because we talk about ancient money, we talk about euros, we talk about dollars, but the expense would be the same to these standards today. And it must be also very impressive to the eyes of the people coming up here. They're not used to see such big constructions. They are, let's say, the top of what architecture gave and of what they were seeing. And this statue looks even bigger because there are some refinements, some corrections. They don't have the experience to build. What they do is to study nature. And in nature, they see that everything is curvy. For Parthenon, we don't have a single line that is straight, vertical or horizontal. All lines are oblique, all lines are curved. If you notice well, I can see it because unknowing. Over this side, the pavement is like raising a little bit by the center. Is raising actually 6 centimeters over here and 11 in the part sides. Notice the columns. The columns are larger at the bottom and they're getting smaller as they're as we're seeing them, getting to the top. Is like getting tapered.
Yes.
Quite in the middle of their height, they have a little curve. That is what we call entasis in the Doric architecture. These are the official terms. All the columns are leaning inside. even the walls of the temple are leaning inside. So to project the lines of the corners in the sky, they would form in a height of around 1,700 meters a pyramid. If we could see actually how the temple looked like originally, maybe this kind of a drawing like this one can help you understand what is the original aspect of the temple. But with our eyesight, we can see it all straight. Notice even another detail. The columns of the corners are bigger than the second one, the one next to it. And they are even closer to each other than the second and the third.
Yeah.
You know why this is happening? They knew that the columns in the corners, imagine them being white bright. They were reflecting light in a different way than today. They would receive more light and they would look thinner than the others next to them.
Okay.
So they knew that they had to make them a little bit bigger to look the same with the one next to it.
Wow.
It's a temple that for centuries is being, let's say, taught about. There are researches, they are experts making measurements over measurements, because it's a fine example of what Doric architecture is about, to inspire today what we have and we meet often in Greece, but also in the United States. You have such buildings, the neoclassical buildings that they are new, but they look like the ancient ones, using columns, capitals, and so on. Now, let's take the path to reach the front of the other side. And it became also a mosque during the Turkish rule. And nothing that was a minaret. It was after the liberation of Greece, around 1840, that it was decided to put down and take out of the Acropolis all the, let's say, the recent additions made in times. Just the Acropolis is 156 meters high above sea level, so that is the best place to have a panoramic view of the city, especially in the night. So I see it often down in those photographs filling Instagram of tourists or the TikTok as well, which is the new
TikTok, yes.
trend. I have teenagers at home. I need to follow what is happening.
Absolutely, yes.
Haven't I?
Uh-huh, that's right.
And it's having all the standards to have everything brought together once more. Now, questions?
Hey, baby, take your mask off. Let me take a pic.
No questions?
Smile.
It's 5 minutes to 11. We will meet 11:30 down there, as we've said. The best place to take a panoramic view picture photograph is by the Greek flag.
Okay.
Over the Acropolis. Walking that way, mind your steps, because you are going to walk on the original road, so it's kind of not slippery. And then you walk straight down through the propyla. You will see the path saying exit to lead you down, and we'll meet by the washrooms 11:30.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Enjoy it. If any questions, something.
I have a question about
Yeah.
about the weather. Is it always this
No,
warm?
it's not like this. This
it's
is
beautiful.
This is let's say a period in winter time that it happens almost every year. The usual weather is to have a little bit of cold and rain, being cloudy.
Like us.
But we can have these periods.
Yes, yes.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
I know that I look very wintry, but
we all do.
what is
Right.
cold for me is to have around 40 Celsius degrees. So it's a big gap. But enjoy it. You are very like. It wouldn't be the same to have the visit with clouds and rain.
No, no.
Freezing.
It would be a little treacherous with
The
rain
pictures
here.
will look like summertime. Our pictures will look like the summer to
Yeah,
me.
you can tell that you were here in
Yes.
summer, but you wouldn't be the same way comfortable if
Yeah,
it
we'd
was
be a little
summer.
warm.
Yeah.
It
Right.
would be very warm.
Would you please say your name again for the camera?
Niobe.
Niobe. That's
Niobe.
beautiful, beautiful.
Are you going to tell us what it means?
As soon as we meet.
Ah, okay. We're rushing you.
It's not a happy story. So
Oh, okay.
She didn't want to start her day with that.
Yeah.
Figure this out.
What have you figured out, baby?
Those rocks in those containers,
There's
Uh-huh.
that stadium right there.
they were talking about.
Where is the stadium? Oh my goodness, you can see it from here. I'm listening, baby. The rocks in the containers yesterday at the ark
They've already been pictures of
and documented and aged.
like
Yes,
jigsaw puzzle pieces.
yes. What did she say those columns were down there?
She said, but I don't remember.
Oh my goodness. Something old anyway. So you don't remember either, Susan, about those? No. Okay. Okay. All right, darling. Let me get right here. I'm trying to give everybody a panoramic view of this tip-top spot right here. It's fantastic. We've got the Greek flag blowing beautifully. And this is like the best place for a panoramic, so y'all. Parthenon. The tip-top spot of the Acropolis. Yeah.
Wow.
This is a lot of dwellings, isn't
You know,
it?
I don't know what it is, but it's just so odd to realize there's just this many people and so many different things in the world, you know.
Yeah.
True. John was saying that very thing a minute ago. Oh, did you see that little Parthenon looking building down there in the greenery? I wonder what that is. Do you see that, Connie? Connie, do you see the Parthenon looking building down there? Isn't that cute? I don't know what that is.
The little baby one.
The little baby. That's it.
I don't
That's
know if you were
beautiful.
listening, but they, she said on the bus that it was 4 million people lived here. Right.
Yes.
Did she say 60% of the population? She said
40%.
40%.
of the
Okay,
population.
that's why. Okay.
But that is a huge amount of the population of Greece lives right here. All right, guys, one last scan, and we're gonna go down. They're only letting up a few at a time because of, y'all know what I'm not gonna say. So one more scan of this gorgeous, gorgeous land. I think they said 40% of the Greece population lives here in Athens. Isn't that something? We're on the Acropolis. We're coming, we're coming. Let's go give someone else a turn. Cute. That's a great photo. Everybody loves COVID. You gotta regulate everything. They said during the summer you can't get another person up here normally. What, baby? What was you gonna say?
You wanted a picture down there. Do we want to go around that way?
Yes. Yes. Where is Kamala? She wanted a picture of she and I at the...
Maybe she's waiting there.
You think? Okay, we'll try to make our way. Then I'll call her or text her. Because she wanted us taking a picture by the porch with the ladies holding it up. Yeah, it's recording. I forgot if it was recording or not. Man, they're taking some great pics. They're taking a pic there somewhere. That's a great place to take a picture. Look at there. They're getting into it, aren't they? Little pigeons. Oh, that one's purpley. That one's cute. This is a purple pigeon. I don't know if I'm getting it. What a pretty color of a little pigeon. What a beautiful color. Well, to me anyway. Cam wasn't up on the place with us, was she? The flag spot. It's like the best spot to take the picture, so. This new camera I got, if you're turning like I just did, everybody's, I'm sure, going to appreciate this new camera, this investment, because it doesn't make you quite as drunk or dizzy.
Slowly turns.
Yeah, it slows it down, so. And the walking is not jittery either, so that's good thing.
It.
Yes.
Let's go right up through there, and I guess
I'll try to find
right
Kamala.
okay.
Is that Kim? There she is. Kamala! We're all gonna meet up. Okay, she sees us.
I didn't realize she had hurt her arm and breaking it.
I didn't either. I had no idea. I had asked, but it was like on Facebook, you know, and so I didn't realize how it happened. We'll have to get Cam to tell us. All right, Kamala and I are going to get a picture with this side porch with the ladies holding it up.
The gods to revenge because their mother got very sad of what Niobe had said to her. They went and they killed all her children. And she got petrified. That's why I told you it's not a perfect
harsh there.
to start the day.
Wow.
So, in order to be safe, I just had 2 children, a boy and a girl, and that's it. Just to prevent all the spelling, the bad spelling, and the curse.
Understood.
Understood? Can we walk?
Yes.
No.
Fame.